Good afternoon. What I would like to do today is to tell you a story which has to do with childbirth. It's a story that impacted my life positively and significantly. And it's a story that taught me that you can really achieve incredible things in life if you surround yourself with happy people. Let's see the first slide. Childbirth has been traditionally associated with happiness. And this is true in most cases. But we have to consider then in approximately 10–15% of deliveries, things get complicated. And the mother needs to be helped to deliver safely and successfully, either because she is exhausted and she cannot push anymore, or because the baby inside the uterus is suffering and needs to be pulled out fast. Now, imagine yourself, you are an obstetrician facing one of these situations. It's really a tough situation. And you know that your action can make the difference between a happy childbirth and a sad moment for the woman and her family. You have basically three options to take action. Let's see the next slide. Either you use a forceps. The forceps are two metal blades that you position around the head of the baby to grasp it and apply traction and extract the baby. Or we can see the next slide. You apply a vacuum extractor. Vacuum extractor is a cup made either of plastic or metal, which is connected with a vacuum pump. This cup adheres tightly to the scalp of the baby and allow you to pull the baby out. Or, in the next slide, you can see you can do a cesarean section. Let's see the three of them together in the next slide. These three options, forceps, the vacuum, the cesarean section, are life-saving procedures. But they are associated with increased risk of damage for the mother and the baby. They require expensive equipment, and they need to be performed by very skilled obstetricians to be safe. Therefore, these conditions are usually not found in low-resource settings, like think about rural Africa or Asia, where there are no obstetricians, and where most of the women now are actually delivering. All these techniques and technologies are literally century-old. There has been no innovation in this area of medicine for literally century to make assisted birth safer and easier. So think about, imagine what was my reaction when a few years ago, it was 2008, I got a call from a colleague in Argentina. And the colleague told me that in his department, they were actually working with an inventor on a new device for assisted vaginal birth. Let's see it in the next slide. At that time, I was working for the World Health Organization. I was the coordinator of a team for improving maternal and newborn health. And honestly, when I heard this news on the phone, I was skeptical and intrigued at the same time. And the colleague urged me to actually take advantage of an imminent trip that I was going to take to Argentina in Buenos Aires to attend the meeting to meet with the inventor. And I did it. And when I met with Jorge Odon, the inventor of this device, what he showed me was really fascinating. And I would like to use this simulator that Jorge built. It's a plastic uterus with a doll inside that he used to show me how his device, which is very simply made of plastic sleeves with an air chamber at its end and a plastic inserter, work. And I will ask actually Jen if she can help me to deliver a baby on stage. And we will do it with the help of a few slides. Can we show the first one? So the first thing is you apply the device to the head of the baby, and then progressively the inserter pushes the plastic sleeves on the head of the baby. We can see this in the next slide and in the next one. When the head of the baby is fully surrounded, remember at this time the baby gets his oxygen through the umbilical cord, you can inflate a little bit of air in this air chamber. At this moment the device stays in place. You can remove the inserter. We see it in the next slide. And then in the next slide, you can see how you apply traction and deliver the head. Once the head is delivered, the device automatically detaches, so it doesn't interfere with the first breathing movement of the baby. Thank you. We made it, eh? In a delivery, when actually you have delivered the head, usually the rest of the body follow easily. But when I saw this, my first reaction was that this device could be potentially less damaging than any other option which is available, more affordable, and easier to use. All these characteristics made it particularly suitable for use by midwives and specialized nurses in conditions when there are no doctors. So really you could see that the device could have the potential to increase access to appropriate care for women, especially in low-resource countries. This initial impression was then shared by several other obstetricians and midwives, and now we have a study ongoing testing for safety and effectiveness of the device, and if the result of the study will confirm the positive preliminary finding, the device will be manufactured and distributed worldwide at an accessible price for low-resource settings. There is one thing that I kept it for the end, which is very interesting in this story, and it is about the inventor. Jorge Odon is not an obstetrician, is not a medical doctor, is not a biomedical engineer. Actually, he doesn't have any medical or biomedical background. He's a car mechanic, and he owns a repair shop in Buenos Aires, Argentina. How he came up with the idea, one day he was watching two of his employees who are actually challenging each other to remove a lost cork from an empty bottle. And they were using a plastic bag in which they were blowing a little bit of air. And since I met Jorge, and we can see him in the next slides, playing the trick of the bottle, I have always been puzzled on how he was able to take this idea from a repair shop to the delivery room. This idea could have stopped so many times in the previous years, but instead it progressed fast. And if everything goes well, in a few years from now, the device would be available for everyone who actually need it. If I look retrospectively, I think I know how he did it. He has a gift. He's able actually to connect and engage happy and positive people. And everyone who connected with him, gynecologists, midwives, international expert, company executive, is an happy and positive person who is really committed to push this idea forward and to make it available for everyone, so that we can really say that childbirth will be a happy experience, a happy moment for as many as possible women, family, and community worldwide. Thank you for your attention.